Hi, I'm Robin.
And I'm Heather.
And we're here at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort talking to Chef Ali about all things gingerbread. So behind us, this is actually made of gingerbread. How do you begin something like this?
Oh my goodness. So we actually start our process in May and we cure our honey dough. That cures for about 30 days, and honey dough is actually honey and all-purpose flour with a little high gluten flour. And then we start our gingerbread baking in July for the season.
Wow.
So it takes a team of 3 people, 5 days a week, 8 hours a day to make all the pieces for the gingerbread house. So we have to start that far ahead in order to bake everything and to have them be secure for the house.
Okay.
So we want them to be a little bit firmer. We don't intend anyone to eat the house for sure. So we want them to be firmer when we go ahead and put them on the house so that they last for the entire season.
Okay. And speaking of like keeping them intact, what kind of icing do you use to keep it like structurally sound there?
So most guests think that we use a glue. Absolutely not. We use what's called a baker's glue, royal icing, powdered sugar, egg whites, cream of tartar. And so we go ahead, we do piping bags of it. All of our gingerbread is actually backed in chocolate. So this is our little secret. It helps the glue stick to the gingerbread. So the chocolate is traced by hand on each and every piece. When we put it on, you actually have to hear the snap of the chocolate. That's the trick when we train everyone.
Are there other gingerbread houses around the building that are similar to this one, or is this the most complex that we've done?
This is the most complex that we have done. We actually have a miniature version that is over in our Disney Vacation Club building.
Awesome. How far in advance do you have to plan the actual structure?
The structure stays pretty similar every year, but the design of it changes. So this year you're going to notice some silver elements for the 100th year of Walt Disney World, so that's new to us. And our hidden Mickeys, which are 24 each for our 24th year, are also done in silver this year. And to answer your question, how far in advance, you can believe it, we're already planning for the next year.
And so we see that there's a little bit of, sugar dust on top. How does that get there?
We have an entire crane that comes into the Grand Floridian. We go up in the crane, and if you can imagine, we can touch the chandelier above us. And the sifter size is about 6 feet long.
Oh my God.
And it's a sugar snow that we utilize with edible glitter inside of it. And that is the finish of the house.
What tips would you have for our readers at home that are interested in making their own gingerbread?
Backing it with chocolate. You can use a coating chocolate that you'll find at your store near your home. Also, another trick that we have to make that royal icing stay for decor is sugaring it.
What are some of your favorite ways to decorate a gingerbread house personally?
I actually like to put a lot of fondant pieces on it. Our roofs this year, because we have miniature gingerbread houses, our roofs this year have a printed fondant on top. I love snowflakes personally, and a lot of glitter.
Are the flowers a similar situation, the poinsettias here?
Yes, absolutely. So that is sugar floral, and each and every one is hand dipped.
And can you tell us a little bit about this guy behind us right here?
Oh gosh, so Santa, he comes out every year. He is 88 pounds of solid white chocolate. Our cast hand paint him every year into his kind of garb. This year he was changed to silver because of the 100th year.
Yes.
And his glasses are always in safekeeping for sure. And he takes 2 people to lift him up onto our porch.
Wow. What happens to the gingerbread house when the season is sort of coming to a close?
We will come out at the end of it and we will take all the gingerbread off of the structure. That all goes to food waste. We completely compost it. The structure itself is taken out to our tree farm and washed off. The bees then come feed on the sugar water from that royal icing that I mentioned earlier, and then they go ahead and make the honey for the next year. So that honey dough that we use is a local honey, so it's really a full circle.
So you can't eat it after it's been here?
You technically can eat it for sure. We just don't recommend it.
And what is the general shelf life of gingerbread? If somebody were to make a gingerbread house, how long afterwards would it be safe to eat?
Well, that all depends, but we typically say around 2 weeks is our shelf life for our gingerbread to eat.
You know what? That's longer than you might expect, to be honest. So, Chef Ali, you have this gingerbread house that seems maybe a little more manageable for home chefs like myself or Robin. Do you have any tips and tricks for making this something similar to this caliber at home?
Of course. So What we always say is start with a bunch of tips. We have all different types of tips that you can see here, a small round, one with like a leaf and a star tip combined, and that gives you really versatility when you're decorating your house. The roof here is created with a fondant square, so it's a really neat way to give your gingerbread house that elevated look without going too crazy on the design itself. All of your little pieces here, right? Candy canes and tiny little meringue mushrooms. And we've actually added some shutters here. So those are stamped out with a cutter and then just designed with a little bit of royal icing and white cocoa butter.
Do you use a toothpick to draw the icing on, to do the designs? How do you do
Very
those?
thin paintbrush. Cocoa butter is a byproduct of chocolate. It comes in all different colors that you can purchase. And that's our way to paint on chocolate and gingerbread and sugar pieces.
Wow. Do you suggest that people draw out their ideas first, or just like go wild, freestyle?
So, I say it's both, right?
Yeah.
If you're a planner, we definitely plan our gingerbread houses here at the Grand Floridian. But if you're just going to have fun with it, I say set everything out and let your imagination fly.
What about the sugar things? Do you have tips for people who want to make them themselves?
So right, this little poinsettia here,
Beautiful.
royal icing, and a leaf tip. So that powdered sugar, cream of tartar, a little bit of egg whites, right? And you're going to go ahead and pipe those, set them onto a parchment, not a napkin. I would recommend a wax paper or a parchment for home, and let them dry for about 24 hours before you go ahead and move them.
Yeah.
And so can guests purchase one of these gingerbread houses?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, of course. So they're sold here at the Grand Floridian. And each year the house changes. So each year our mini gingerbread house changes as well. So these are our signature Mickey ears. This is the first year that we've actually dipped them in milk chocolate. They're usually dark chocolate. And this happens to be my favorite bite that we have here at the house.
Well, that
I'm
makes
excited.
it exciting.
Yeah. We're going to
All
take a
right,
bite.
Let's go for it.
Super sweet, a little spicy, definitely a great balance.
The milk chocolate's really nice.
It is.
It's
And it's really soft. It's not like a super snappy gingerbread, but it's delicious. Well, thank you. Yeah,
Thanks
it's
so much
incredible.
for talking to us. This is
And
gorgeous.
for sharing your gingerbread.
Our
Yeah, for
pleasure.
sure.